It'll be amazing for him to finish off with a good note like that, but I think it's business as usual right now for John. He's going to try and win the Pipe Masters, finish off the year with a bang, and then once he gets crowned, officially crowned world champion on the Gold Coast next year, I think that's when it really will hit home.
Who's had back-to-back finals here at the Pipe Masters. While we were away, the quarters got underway here in the Invitational. None other than Jack Robinson trying to pull off an epic barrel ride at backdoor, but he goes down like he was already on the CT. So well beyond his years as we watch this one. Takes off deep and pulls in. It's Keoni on. That one's going to run down the reef without him, Potts. Yeah,
unfortunate right there. Bit of a chandelier in that wave. Imperfections that took him down.
Knife in the takeoff backhand, Chris Foster.
You know, back to Seth, the phenom, he charged big waves.
As this one continues now, Jack all grown up. Part of the Billabong family, beating multiple sections of backdoor and pulls off one of the best rides of the day.
It's down the road, North Point, which is a very tricky barrel as well. So let's have a look at Jack's technique. Further up the board, just snuck under that section there, the double barrel, and fights his way through the end. So amazing ability right there from Jack Robinson. And then on the left-hander, Victor Bernardo there. Nothing to talk about on that one, but Jack Robinson.
It seemed like they can do the impossible. When it looks like it's going to shut down and close out, they warp their body positioning and pull off a miracle. 163 for Jack Start. That'll be his second scoring ride, turning in an 8.33. Another huge number along the way on a day where 8s have been really challenging to get. That's just part of the fabric that created this mold called pro surfing. So many amazing legends that paved the way for the future for guys like Jack, who's leading the charge now, punching through at backdoor. Smaller, messy little barrel, but could be improving on his backup score now.
And then back it up, and that's exactly what he's doing here. So he's got a nice score under his belt already. This will just be a nice little backup for him, somewhere in the 3-point range probably. So Jack Robinson, 8.33 on his top score.
Led by world champ John Florence. During the break, Keoni took off on a right here, Potts.
Yeah, you know, just looking for the tube, obviously not on offer right on that occasion, so going a couple of turns, just trying to get himself in that solid second spot.
Now rolling in with Victor Bernardo. Knifes it vertically and kicks out, going for maneuvers on that last exchange. Bernardo looking for a 2.53 to take Keoni's spot. They get a lot of fan support for that around the world. This is Victor Bernardo. Tight jam, going to turns in this matchup to try to get a spot into the next round. A little closeout hack on his backhand, and he's building a solid scoreline.
But it is pipeline, it is backdoor. Strange things can happen. Let's have a look at Victor Bernardo's wave here. A couple of quick snaps, and then I like this turn here. Sort of upside down, using the bounce of the wave. You can see it's not classic pipeline by any stretch of the imagination, but still high performance waves coming through, and that's what these guys have got to do, you know, just change it up and throw some big turns in. Because I went on those big closeouts, he then gave me a good one, so I paid my dues.
Now watching this one, Victor Bernardo hanging on to second. Brilliant first turn. It's been all about maneuvers for his scoreline so far, proving every rule wrong as far as what longevity means in a professional career of any sport. Still competing, going for his 8th Pipe Masters title this year. Meanwhile, Victor Bernardo finding some open space in the barrel of backdoor. And that felt good for the young Brazilian talent. Looking to better at 2.83.
Rove in the lineup without priority, slides in, standing nice and tall. Didn't try and get too deep, didn't try and get too greedy, just made sure he got a nice little barrel, which he did. Perfect positioning right there from Victor Bernardo. Comes flying out the end. That is going to better his situation and really solidify that second spot for him, Joe.
Amazing style and control as he's looking out, coming out without any issues, no chandeliers in his face.
As opposed to taking off in front of it and then having to slow down. More waves on the way though, Joe. Look at this one.
Setting this one up, stalling immediately is Foster, and finding a way to make it out of a heavy section. Let's see how he made this miracle here.
Wow, it's a bigger one, isn't it? So driving through that section, chandeliers, and snuck out through that, you know, he could have kind of gone into that next section, but was he going to come out? I'm not sure.
Chris Foster putting himself back in the game now with 5:30 remaining on the clock. Keoni on. Pulls in, small section of backdoor, but he comes out. Feels it off the top and has to get out of there. So Keoni winning his first heat this morning. And he's hoping that last one will get him out of there. How'd you like this barrel?
Well, just a smaller inside section, you know, waited for it. Kind of backdoor, nothing too special. I can't see that going too high. You're still going to have a lot of work to do needing a 717. It's not going to be it.
So now passing the 5-minute warning. Chris Foster just threw down a 4.67. Late takeoff, he ends up going down on this next wave.
And it's going to be a late drop, Joe.
And he's all alone to take a look at this one. Free falls right into the pit. He's starting to move in the barrel and does it without a problem. Going for a big punt just to celebrate. Wow. The feeling of getting spit out of backdoor.
Super late drops are critical. Everything came into play.
Next wave setting up for Keoni on and puts himself super deep in backdoor. Started really stretching out on the reef. And he's going to be left behind. Keoni's had a couple of those attempts in this matchup.
The day comes out nice and clean. Perfect positioning for Robbo. And just goes for that flyaway kick out. He's going to be a gem of a score. He drives through that section there. Perfect positioning. Sort of took the high line as he came out. Smart surfing from Jack Robinson. And the best wave of the day, Joe. Yeah, look at that. Just perfect right there from the drone. That's what you want to find at backdoor, especially on a day like today, because that is dropping big scores. 8.5 in round 1, 8.3 as his top score this morning, and then backed it up with this one, Joe. Best one of the day.
A 9-point ride for Jack Robinson, the defending champ of the Pipe Invitational.
Having an absolute screamer in one heat to not finding anything in your neck, so got to stay vigilant.
Now having a look, Victor Bernardo with priority, puts himself nice and deep. Will he make it out? Finds the exit and seals it with a carve in a challenging backwash section. And Bernardo using priority well, protecting second spot and getting the final wave of this first quarterfinal. Jack Robinson with a huge win, a 9 and an 8.33, and Victor Bernardo playing a solid game to stay in second to move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, that was great surfing from Victor Bernardo. Just having priority right at the end too.